Hill sprints or squats? What are the main differences, and should you choose one over the other? When it comes to building muscle mass, squats are going to take the win, mainly because of 4 different things. It's way easier to progressively overload on squats as you get stronger by simply adding more weight. Second thing is that on squats you're going to be having a much bigger range of motion, which is going to give you a better muscle growth stimulus, depending on if you do squats with full range of motion, of course. The third reason why squats are going to be better for building muscle than hill sprints is that squats have a much more stable base, and because of the stable base, you're going to be able to produce more mechanical tension and recruit more muscle mass, because most of the effort is going to be on producing force instead of stabilizing or balancing anything. And the fourth, and maybe even the most important one, is the squats are much better stimulus to fatigue ratio. So a key driver for hypertrophy, so building muscle mass, is volume. You need to have enough volume to build muscle mass, and you can get enough volume with sprints, but sprints are also very fatiguing. So you're going to create a lot of systemic fatigue with sprints if you will get enough volume you need to build muscle mass. But with squats, of course, you have still have fatigue, but the stimulus to fatigue ratio is much better on squats. So you get a better stimulus with less fatigue on squats compared to on hill sprints. When it comes to building strength, squats still take the win here as well, mainly because of the same reasons as in the muscle mass category. It's easier to progressively overload by adding weight to squats, and again it's much more stable movement, which means you can have a higher force output and you can produce way more force on squats than on hill sprints. Now when it comes to explosiveness, hill sprints take the win because you're moving at max effort against resistance, so up the hill, and you also train coordination, power and fast twitch muscle fibers all together. Of course, you could also do squats explosively by having less weight and just doing them as fast as you can, but hill sprints are going to be much more like the real life explosive movements with full speed ground contact. So therefore hill sprints take the win when it comes to explosiveness. And lastly, speed. Now it's pretty obvious, hill sprints are going to make you much faster than squats because you're sprinting at max effort, so you're running as fast as you can, which trains acceleration, stride frequency and quick foot turnover. So you can't really replace that type of activity with squats. If you run as fast as you can, that's going to make you much faster than squatting heavier weights. But unless you're about to become like a pro sprinter, a powerlifter or a bodybuilder, I think it's always best to do both. They're both great force exercise, and they both have unique things to offer, and they both give variety into your training. So ideally you will train for many years, and if you have enough variety to mix things up, it's going to be much more interesting for you to train, and you're much more likely to train for a longer period of time, and therefore of course you're going to get better results. So if you train for 50 years, it's going to be much better than if you just train for 2 years, and therefore all sorts of variety that you can include is going to be beneficial to you. And squats and hill sprints are both no-nonsense exercises, both great exercises, so you can't really go wrong with them. But if you want to choose just one over the other, then this is what you can take into account when making that decision. But hey, now you might be interested in finding out what are the differences between hill sprints and flat sprints. So make sure you have a look at this video right here to find out which one's going to suit you way better. Hope you give squats and hill sprints a go. I will see you in the next video. Bye bye.